I'm bringing up my friend and brother. He's a teen coach, teen self and discovery and purpose coach. He's an author. He's referred to as Mr. Purpose. He's the founder, the Purpose School, the first self and purpose discovery school in Africa or in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, in Africa, please put your hands together as I bring up my friend and brother, Noah Toluleke. Remember that after him, we're going to be having, let's celebrate my brother. He's going to be speaking for 20 minutes. He has wealth of experience about purpose. I don't like standing close to him because I look up to him, yeah.
A man who is not stingy with information that brings transformation. Then please, before you sit down, celebrate your future self with a round of applause. Your global future self with a round of applause. Thank you very much. You can have your seat. I have limited time to share so much that I've learned in the last 22 years about the subject of purpose discovery and pursuing purpose and fulfilling your purpose in the earth space that is filled with over 7 billion human beings today. And God started with just 2. Or let me say he started with 1, Adam, but his madam was inside him. If you are a single man, that is a clue to you. Your wife you are looking for outside, she's not outside, she's inside you. Once you find you, you will see the woman that was designed to help you fulfill your assignment. That's a free marriage advice. If you were blessed by Emo Oladapo's session, please make some noise for him. That was a whisper. Make some noise for him. Let them feel it on Instagram. All right. If you were very inspired by Sako's session, he spoke about how to build a compact brand for relevance. So that was a very compact session, but he has shared so much today that we can write a book from his session. Please put your hands together. Make some noise for Sako. Ashiri came and gave us Ashiris, that's secrets to become outstanding, secrets to take your space, drive like a Lagos driver. In Lagos, typically, if you indicate you want to go left, the person behind you will not accelerate because life abhors space. One of the things that you said that I took note of is for any mentor to keep you close to him, you have to follow Towulo. That's how you said it. That's Yoruba. You have to follow and become a productive mentor, or a productive mentee, rather. There are 4 kinds of mentees. I can't share that now. But there are some who just like to follow you so that they can be seen around you. But there are some that like to follow you because they know they have somewhere to go and they see that you carry the grace, you have the heartitude, Heartitude is a new word you won't find in your dictionary. That's your heart is right because they are secure. And Sako is such a mentor who is very secure in his own identity. That's why I connected with him years ago, and then one day I came to him and said, I want you to mentor me in what I discovered of myself, which is ability to MC. Emo Oladapo talked about 3 types of entertainers or MCs. Those who came in from the front door. I came in through the back door. I studied human resource management, but I discovered that I have the gift to MC. I was given the mic without prior information in a church setting and said, you are going to be the MC of this program. That's how it popped out, and it's been popping since then. And to the glory of God, I've MC'd a number of weddings, and I give God praise. Mary Jane, oh my God. Mary Jane, you have done justice to the subject. So please, let's make her feel very loved. The only woman standing in an outstanding way. Please put your hands together, make some noise for Mary Jane. Okay. And I have a subject that I have titled Beyond Bread and Butter. Beyond Bread and Butter. How to build a legendary brand. Beyond Bread and Butter. And your very last point was like a foundation to the few things I'm going to share with these exceptional entertainers in this room today. And that's why I know that this conference was pre-planned by the Spirit of God, who has a yearning for you to become all that you were created to be. So if you are a comedian here, or you define yourself only by your last paycheck, then you are doing yourself a great disservice, because you are much more than what you have seen. And some of you are here, maybe your bank balance is in red. Let me say this quickly to you. Don't let your bank balance knock you off balance. I'll say that again. Don't let your bank balance knock you off balance. And that point that she laid as a foundation is what I'm going to build on also, to just cap it up from what other speakers have shared. You are not working primarily to make money. You are working to add meaning. You are not working primarily to make money. You are working to add meaning. Some people that come from a superstitious background see work as a result of the curse that Adam committed sin, so God cursed him and said, now you begin to work to eat. No. If you go back to the good book, you see in the book of Genesis, work was a gift from God to man as a platform to express your potential. Or shall I say, to express his potential that he placed inside of you for the rest of humanity. Please say after me, I am born great. Say it with passion. Say, I'm born great. I'm not going to die small. Look at your neighbor and ask your neighbor, do you really know who I am? Get an answer. Say, do you know who I am? Now tell them for me, if you knew who I truly am, you would have brought me breakfast. But since you didn't bring me breakfast, you better get ready to buy me lunch, because I am an exceptional entertainer. I did a research of some of the finest brands globally, and I picked out 3 principles that we can learn and build upon. And the acronym is the letters PVC. I'm not a politician. Somebody say, I like to teach with acronyms so that it will be easier for you to remember the points long after I'm gone. I see a sister in the audience. I just want to acknowledge and appreciate you. Please, everybody, put your hands together for Atinoke Ojenema. She is a great woman, nation builder. Please appreciate her well. You don't need to know her to give her a liberal applause. All right, so before I go into my points, I want to talk about someone who has made a difference, huge difference from his sphere of influence. I'll just read out a few things he achieved. By the time I mention his name, most of you have seen his works. Most of you, he has entered your living room without getting a visa from where he lives. But he has been able to influence different spheres of influence from recognizing his PVC. You know, we're going to vote next year. So I hope everybody here has their PVC. I don't belong to any political party, by the way, please. So this particular guy was born into a broke, busted, and disgusted home. So your background must not be the reason why your back remains on the ground. His father left his mother, so the marriage broke. By the way, let me just chip this by the side. From the recent happenings now in Nigeria, we see that one of the ways for you to remain relevant and fulfill your days is to choose your spouse correctly. Don't marry a spouse that works in Punch. Because there might not be a guardian there to edit your editorial. Marriage can lead to self-improvement, or rather, marriage can lead to life improvement or life imprisonment. No matter how great your vision is, if you marry a caterpillar and you are a pillar, then there will be a bulldozing somewhere. So you must marry right, but I'm not here to talk about marriage. This guy has done 17 feature films. He has 20 stage plays. He has 7 television shows. He broke into New York. He has a book that became a best-selling book in the New York Times. He was born and raised in New Orleans. But in 1992, he wrote his first movie that he titled, I Know I've Been Changed. The man I'm talking about is Tyler Perry. How many of you know Tyler Perry? And from his story and from his from how he has evolved as a person, we can learn these 3 things from his story and many others. How many of you know Alibaba? Everybody in this room know Alibaba. I read Alibaba's story. I read most of the greats, and I saw these 3 keys, these 3 principles replicated in each person, whether male or female. And if you're a female here, you don't have to be muscular to be spectacular. Just use these 3 keys, PVC, and the whole world will see the greatness that God dropped in you. And you don't need to take Guinness, by the way, for your greatness to show. I like to play with words. Like Sako said, I'm a teens coach as well. That's not the only thing I do. So I've been privileged to see these principles help teenagers go from just confused teenagers to becoming global brands who are doing great things. One of them represented me at another speaking engagement I was invited to this morning. And I said, I can't divide myself into 2. I have a protege that has become a productive young man. And I just said, go and represent me there. And it's the same subject I was invited to speak on. I said, so today, I have the privilege to stand before people that will shape culture. I hope you know that because of the kind of gift and industry God has placed inside of you, you have the capacity to shape national culture. You have the capacity and the possibilities to transform nations, either from your songs, from your jokes, from your TV series, from your books. So if you limit yourself to just making money, your life will not make meaning. You are much more than you see in the mirror. So I don't want to waste too much time. I have limited time, by the way. The first P is my slide up. The first P is purpose. Of course, I can't begin any talk without talking about purpose. I'm not the one that named myself Mr. Purpose. It was my pastor, my mentor. Because that's the key thing. So you might be taking local actions, but you must have global view, global expectations. And that's what the internet has given us today. So intent determines the content. Let me explain. If I intend to ice a bottle of water, what will I be thinking of? If I intend that this machine will ice water, then it will be called what? A refrigerator. But it will have a content. What makes it a refrigerator is it has, do you know what? It has what? It won't have carburetor, my brother. That's a car. It will have thermostat. It will have a compressor. It will have something that can compress air and make air thick. So your intent determines content. Let me look for something simpler. If I want to make tea, for example, beverage, that's my intention. Then I will look for the content is derived from what? The intent. So the way for you to become relevant is for you to first find God's intent for your life, because there was a problem that God already foresaw would exist by the time you come into the earth space, and then he put the solution to that problem inside of you. That's why imitation leads to limitation. And a lot of you entertainers today, you are guilty of imitating the rave of the moment. That's why Sako's wisdom is something we should deploy. That word rave of the moment should not be in your dictionary anymore. That's why there's this crave today amongst young people in our generation that I want blow. You be banger. And the lifespan of that firecracker is just a few seconds. And it's such foolishness to be thinking of being the rave of the moment. So you are willing to do just anything just to be a seasonal success, like an umbrella. Who carries an umbrella around throughout the year? So the key to be relevant throughout the seasons is to find out why God placed you on this earth because your purpose has 3 major seasons. Every man has 3 major seasons, and your purpose has 3 major seasons. One, morning season, afternoon season, and night season, which creates the acronym MAN. So every human being here has a purpose. Please shout aloud after me, I have a purpose. Say it again, say, I have a purpose. I have a purpose. So you are not just an entertainer. That caption is too little for God's real intent for your life. There was an entertainer in the Bible called David. He used to play skillfully. And then there was a problem in the palace, and God knew that this guy, his true intent for him is to be the leader of a nation. But God needed him to be in that space. Where's Ashiri? He talked about what? Relevance is what? What did he say? It's a battle of space and life above space. So you are gifted with the gift of entertaining. But if you understand the intent behind why the platform was created for you, then your relevance goes home with your audience and lives with them. Also, you must note that what God assigned for you to be and do on the earth predetermined your design. So you must be very in love with how you are physically. You must love yourself absolutely. You must believe in yourself like you are a religion. I'll say that again. You must come to a place whereby you believe absolutely in your authentic self as if you are a religion. Your design was for what you were assigned to do. So not every one of you should be called a comedian. But have you entered into that space because you have seen a sarcomedian who, that's his original self, and then you want to force yourself into that space, life will spew you out. Have you ever tried to use a wrong, maybe screw, spanner or something to loosen another knot that it was not designed for that? It's going to be a misfit. So what something is assigned to do predetermines its design. So I'm laying a foundation for you to build on. Some of you might need to stop MCing and go into just writing jokes for the comedian that should come upstage. Some of you will need to either retire from trying to be the musician that sings on stage to go into songwriting in the entertainment industry. That is your primary assignment as intended by the Creator, who is not just alive, He is life Himself. In Him we live, in Him we move, in Him we have our being. Except you have lived before. It's foolishness to not know why God created you, and you just see another champion championing something, and you run after that space. Or you run into that space and like, this is the reigning thing now. This is the reigning. No. Those who follow trends always end with the trend. If you follow the trends, you will end with the trend, and your relevance will end with that trend. But once you key into purpose, how many seasons did I say every human being has? 3 seasons. Let me quickly share on that in 3 minutes. The morning season starts from the day you were born, 0 to 18 years. That season was designed by God to be the season for your self-discovery. She talked about that. You discover who you are. You are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in your body. Your spirit, the day it was born, you were handed over to some parents. I don't know the level of education, revelation your parents had, but your parents are also perfect for your purpose. But now, watch this. Since the day you were born till the day you were 18, has your spirit... I need 3 volunteers. Please quickly stand here. 3. 3 volunteers. Thank you. Okay, 3. I mentioned 3. God bless you. Thank you. Please turn and face the audience. Okay, so because of what I have in mind for illustration, I will use him. He's perfect for this illustration. Please appreciate him. Let's imagine this was you when you were born. This is your spirit man. Now, this is your soul that you have exposed to all manner of things, information. Now, there are 5 compartments in every human being's soul: the will, the imagination, the emotions, your memory, and your intellectual quotient, your IQ. So this is your soul. You see, he has Jericho. He has called the soul. This is not how he was born. But he has called the soul. Then this is your physical side that you are wearing your suit, your clothes on now. And a lot of us get our self-identity from this realm. This is not you. The real you, the content God, who is the spirit that created the universe, is in here. But now, sir, please get a chair. Get a chair quickly. Sit on the chair. Oh, sorry. Give him the chair. You sit on the ground. Just sit on the ground quickly, just for illustration's sake. Yes. Now sit. Okay. Now get a chair, please. Can you stand on it quickly? Thank you. Be careful. So a lot of us, we've gone through, I don't know how old you are, but whatever your age is right now, right? Multiply it by 8,760 hours. That's the number of hours you have in 1 year. So let's do what I call the life maths. Let's assume that every human being in this room is guaranteed 100 years. And we know that's not true. With the kind of son that we have now, and the kind of president we have. I'm just joking. Is the president watching? So please use your PVC to vote for the future you are pregnant with for Nigeria. We must build this nation through conferences like this. Now, this is your body is big. It has been fed. You know what she said? She said, you grow by default physically. As long as you are eating. Even if it is puff-puff you eat throughout the day, or akara you eat throughout the day, this body will just be growing. This mind grows by intentional education. As in you feed it. But this mind can also grow by what is called exposure to noise. You know, there are some songs you know how to sing, but you didn't sit down to learn them. It's called the multiple redundant syndrome, MRS, whereby once you are exposed to an environment, you can learn the behavioral patterns of that without consciously sitting down in a classroom to learn it. But your spirit man that is supposed to lead this entity to global relevance is still sitting on the ground as a baby. Your spirit man is maybe still is 5 years old. Or sorry, is nine days old. Because the last time he heard anything that grew it was when you went for naming ceremony. So you got a name, but your body is bigger than these 3. So this guy is in charge, dragging the 3 end parts of you to where God did not intend you to be. You will be like a fish trying to fly. Picture that. Please appreciate them. Go back to your seats. Thank you very much. So find your purpose, then deploy your potential. Your potential must happen through self-discovery, self-education, self-leadership, a lot of things. I can't go into all of that. The second thing that will help you become a global brand is vision and values. Vision and values. Vision and values. Be driven by vision, not television. Don't be driven by what is happening on TV today. Be driven by a vision that is far bigger than you. Choose your friends based on your vision. What is vision? A vision is an inspired picture. Yeah, it shows that my voice is going to the nations of the world. It's echoing across Africa, across. Somebody shout, praise the Lord, hallelujah. I feel like preaching here. All right, now, your vision must not be driven by what you saw on television. Your vision is a picture you have captured in your mind that you see yourself featuring in. I got that from attending some conferences years ago, but this is my own simple definition of vision. Your vision is your purpose in pictures. Hello? Your vision is your life's entire purpose that God placed in pictures. Because you can't see the entire thing all at once. But what God usually does is that he places men who have gone farther in their own tour of this journey called life, that leave us with clues or footprints or marks on the path that they have found, that makes them pathfinders or trailblazers. Are they in the house? Are there still trailblazers here? That now gives you an idea of where you ought to be going. That's why we call them mentors. Your vision should determine who your mentor would be. Mary Jane spoke about praying about God sending you the right mentor. When I was in the university, 200 level precisely, I saw a flyer. And I saw several speakers on that flyer, but one particular face stood out for me. He looked so, in fact, I wish we could put up his face on the screen, right? Some of you would know him. I think I can mention his name. He's a grand mentor to many of us. Mr. Niya Adesonya, or Pastor Niya Adesonya. I saw him. He looked so young, but I saw his brief profile. I said, wow, who is this young guy? I thought he was even younger than I was then. So who is this young guy? He has trained 7-Up bottling company. What? What am I doing in school? This guy is doing what I want to do. So I prayed a simple prayer. I said, Lord, I would like to meet this guy. I was calling him Guy then. I didn't know he was my mentor. I said, I would like to meet this guy. 2 days later, I got a phone call. The phone call was for me to come for a television recording at NTA 10. I will mention real names because these are real life stories. Fumi Yonda, how many of you know her? She used to do this New Dawn with Fumi. So I was invited for that, and I said, I'm not going to go. Me, global speaker that I am, I would like to go and sit in the audience. You must be humble. The higher a bamboo tree wants to go, the lower it must bend. The higher a bamboo tree wants to grow, the lower it must bend. Humility. So I went to prayer and I decided I'm not going, but the God of the heavens spoke to my spirit. You remember I made a demonstration. You must live from inside out. And the Holy Spirit told me, you have to go. So I went, and guess what happened? As I sat in the audience, she started the show, and the speaker for the day on that TV show was Niya Adesonya. I said, wow. 3 days after, I said, I was not kneeling down when I made the prayer. It was not like a crusade. It was just a simple prayer in my heart. Because God wants you to become the best version of you. And he knows there are certain men in certain seasons you must connect to because of the core reason for your life. So after the show, I ran after him, not to ask for money, but to create an opportunity to be mentored. And he has been my mentor now for over 14 years. That's where I learned public speaking skills from. So if I sound good today, it's because I was fortunate and graced by God to hear his voice, act on that voice, and also connect to such mentors. And it was through his network that I also met Sako years ago. Through that network, I also met this great nation builder in the audience there. So your vision must be far bigger than you. Why do entertainers crash? Either their marriage or their business or their brand. Why does it crash? They have very myopic visions for bread and butter issues alone. You must live beyond bread and butter. There are children in schools in Canada that will be inspired by your story, in Madagascar, in Costa Rica, in Somalia. That their lives will come alive because they read a book, either that was written by you or written about you. If you don't know how to write a book, live a life that will be worthy of being written about. Do you get that? Secondly, live by values. Live by values. Let me say this quickly. I have limited time and I have to be out of here. I heard this statement from Reverend Sam Adeyemi many years ago. He said, the rich. Are you with me? I deliberately paused to get your attention. It's one of the things Niya Adesonya taught us, the pause. The rich, right, spend money to save time. The poor spend time to save money. I'm going to say it again. The rich spend money to what? Save time. The poor means passing over opportunities repeatedly. But they go for prayer crusades repeatedly, thinking that it's only prayer that is needed. Prayer without the relevant action still leaves you in frustration. So as a nation, we are driven by prayer, but we are not driven by other success values. So that statement, the day I heard it, it shocked my mindset. But I began to think about it. At that time, I was in university. I used to take this long bus that they wrote Labor Mass Transit Service. You can't be boarding Labor Mass Transit and your life will enter a season of favor. It's called labor. You will labor. Go in my labor. 99 standing, 29 sitting. Because I was trying to save 50 naira. Because you calculate as a student, if I enter this one, it's 20 naira from this is my bus stop to Oshodi. From some days, so I have money to buy gala. I was living for bread and butter. If you are thinking only of monetary, your stomach infrastructure, you will be like a footballer that just, you'll be a Yakubu. You know Yakubu opportunity. Anywhere below face. If you are facing, if the money is coming from here, even if it's against your core values as a brand, you must have core values. Things you would never do for money. Even if they are paying you $1 billion, you say, I can never do this. So do you have a set of core values that guide your life on a daily basis? I have known SACO for years. SACO has a value for volunteering, for serving, for relationships. The first teenage conference we had, this great man came. He was not yet married then, so that means it was over 9 years ago. He came to Festac Town. I saw him as a brand we could not really pay for his services. I said, but this is to bless teenagers. And he came with his now wife, fiancé then. I'm talking about the rich what? Spend, say what I just said. The rich spend money to save time. The poor spend time to save money. That statement has blessed me today. Would you rather buy a book or buy food? Would you rather attend a conference or go to a party if you were not the MC? Begin to ask. So this is how you begin to see your life's values. Would you rather go and watch Nigeria play versus Ghana, or you watch an Instagram live where your mentor is having a program that will help your mind? You can write this statement down. Once you empty your pocket into your brain socket, you can't lose the money. You can't be broke again. Once you empty your what? Your wallet, your pocket into your brain socket to invest in yourself, you've not lost that money. But once you empty your pocket into your stomach, a few hours later, there will be commotion in the toilet. So relevant brands are men that live by vision. Tyler Perry, let me read one more thing I learned about it. In 2008, as of 2008, he had donated funds to bring clean water to an estimated 65,079 human beings across 4 countries. When you sow those kind of seeds to bless humanity, there's a law. It's called the law of reciprocity. Because God has an agenda to bless human beings. If your brand is active in CSR, this kind of projects, God will ensure that you are always what? Above only. So be value driven. A few values you can cultivate. Cultivate the value of running after insight, not just sight. Insight, not just sight. That's number 1. Intelligence. Talked about reading books. Play games that would upgrade your cognitive skills. I have nothing against people that do this, but I have something against the game. I believe Ludo is for Olodos. But I believe that Scrabble, this is my personal opinion. Because, let me explain. When you look at, go and think about concepts, understanding. She talked about it. Ludo is a game of luck. I go beat you today. Or draft. I believe draft is played by people who are daft. I didn't say so much. Now, I see a pattern. See, I see a pattern. Go and check all those men that play draft under those trees and see whether they have paid their children's school fees in the last 6 years. But their wife is struggling to keep the home, pays the rent, but they will have money to drink alcohol while playing draft. But check people that play chess, that play Scrabble. Their names are scribbled in the Hall of Fame. Because those games were born out of high critical thinking. Or go and learn how to play Monopoly if you want to go into real estate. When you're playing some of those games, I'm talking about chess now. Chess was built for kings. Highly strategic game. Then since you are an entertainer, words are your raw materials. Are our raw materials. I'm also one leg in entertainment. Words are your raw materials. So you should play Scrabble a lot. Okay? A thought flew past my mind. I'll catch it. When you are a value-driven person, you would always be faced with situations whereby you have to choose between your values or a valuable, something you can see, something you can handle. There are times you will be asked to come and MC for free for a mentor, and someone calls you, right, that come and MC this event. I go pay you 25K. See, that's what I have. You have been attempting to enter a realm of maybe earning 250K, 450K. But now you are, in quotes, physically broke, right? You now have to choose between, will I go for bread and butter matter? This 25K will quickly, I will buy data. I'll be able to buy some food at home. Or your mentor that says, come and MC for me, free. A lot of times, over 95% of the people in this, not in this room, in the industry that we play in, will choose, let me quickly and do that small gig that will sustain me. Meanwhile, unknown to you, the platform your mentor will give you gives you higher visibility. And visibility enhances your credibility. And your mentor can just give you honorarium that is honorable. Say, thank you for coming. Just send me your account number. And you just see 150,000 naira just to say thank you. That was what happened to me some years ago. My mentor gave me an assignment and he didn't give me money. It was a project for the First Lady of Lagos at that time. I said, why can you give me in my mind, I was, how can you give me an assignment and you didn't give me even transport fare? It's not fair. Life is not fair. God sent everybody into this earth. We're all naked. But he gave everybody, 24 hours. Time is the only currency equally distributed. You are wise. Please appreciate yourselves. Put your hands together for yourselves. For being here today, you are displaying a higher capacity of the next value you should choose, which is wisdom. I can't finish that story. But that assignment he gave to me and to me, because I applied these principles that I'm sharing with you, we did it so well that at the end of that year, I was invited by the First Lady herself to the State House to dance and wine and, relax with the governor. It was Governor Fashola's regime at that time. Because the rich do what? They pay, they spend money what? To save time, and the poor spend time to what? To save money. And because I'm a man that keeps to time, I'm going to just jump to my last point and round off at this time. The first letter is what? Building a legendary brand. The first letter is what? P stands for what? Discover and deploy your purpose and potential. The second point is what? Vision and values. Be driven by vision and values. The last point that I'm going to talk about is creativity. Somebody has mentioned that before today, but creativity for me is from two words: create and activity, that will lead to productivity. So I want to challenge us today to do a simple exercise. Let's do that quickly and I will be out of your faces. Multiply 8,760 hours by 100. It gives you 876,000 hours. Right? What's your current age? Multiply that 8,760 by, if you are 30, that's times 30. To see the number of hours you have used up. To become relevant, you must play the game of numbers wisely. You must know what to invest your time in. That's why I said being here is a wise use of your time. Now subtract the 2. That's the maximum hours that every human being is assumed to have. Subtract what you have used up from what you're supposed to have. That difference, let me give you a scary fact. It was discovered that if you sleep 8 hours daily and you live up to 75 years, you have slept for 25 years of your life. So subtract that 25 from the remaining. That means we don't have time to waste time. As you are leaving this conference, go with a fresh hunger and desire to use everything you have grabbed. Go and watch these videos all over and over and over again and write an activity list that you are going to commit yourself to create for the world to enjoy from your PVC. Please, can you stand to your feet as we round off this? So I want you to imagine right now that you are 100 years old and you are about to die. Because the reason why people don't go beyond bread and butter at times, they don't think about their deathbed. Close your eyes for a bit. Imagine that you're on your deathbed now, and you know the preferred way a lot of people would love to die is to have their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren surround them, and then you give them your last words. But imagine that surrounding your deathbed, instead of your biological children, are your supposedly brain children. The ideas, the concepts, the song you never wrote, the book that you never wrote, the brand you did not build because you were chasing just money, the opportunities you missed, the relationships you broke just because you were chasing money. How many of those ideas will be standing around your deathbed looking at you with large angry eyes, saying to you, we came to you. Only you could have given us expression and life. But now we have to die with you forever. Now come back to the present and make a commitment today that as long as God gives you breath, you commit to living a life of legacy that will ensure that you die totally empty. Going back, having fulfilled God's purpose, living a life of vision and a life of creativity and character. I'm out of time, not out of content, but thank you very much for being a wonderful audience. And thank you to my great friend and mentor for this opportunity. Please put your